Hey all, welcome back. I think today I'm going to start with radiusing this fretboard. I think radiusing, then I can look at getting a nice centre line and looking at fret markers and that stuff, and then with a view to getting the frets in, all that good stuff. First thing, there was a couple of comments on the last video. Somebody was asking about the river sled dimensions. I'm just over 500 wide and just over 120 long, that's in millimetres. The rails are about 56 tall, 55, 56 by 20. Yeah, my local lumber yard could do me 45 by 20 or 70 by 20, so I got the 70 by 20, I chopped it all into just over 1.2 metres each. And then had a little bit of scrap left over, which I then put through a thickness planer using the scrap bit as a lead, and just took it right down till it's about 55, 56 or so. So yeah, and then this piece here is just any decent strength, nice straight bits of angle iron are perfect. And I've just obviously done the wood to match the width of the base, so that it can slide freely in there. Now the side, these guides, these bearings, you can use whatever you want. I mean, you can do it. You can have a couple of pieces of wood down the sides, it wouldn't matter. The one thing I'd say is to keep the wood like probably 8 to 10 inches long, so that if you go squint at all, it won't just jam, you know. But yeah, nothing special, just something very simple. Got the ideas off of YouTube. And the other thing was, I think it was Doug was on about no neck tenon. Well, no, Doug, it's going to be a bolt on. Neck tenon is for if you're gluing the neck in, and I only do it on the guitars where I can do a neck pickup, which will then hide the tenon because it'll go underneath the pickup. You have to either do that or you have to use a pick guard or something. Otherwise, where the tenon sits and the body's just going to look really ugly. But this is going to be a bolt-on neck, this one, so I don't need a tenon, just a regular heel. Anyway, I suppose you get started with this sanding. Get myself warmed up because it's quite cold here today. So let's just fire on, shall I? I've got 80 grit paper on the radius beam. I've drawn a line roughly in the centre. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's just to give me a guide, because I'll see, you know, where the sandpaper's hitting and stuff, up and down the neck. So yes, because I'm doing it this way. I got this idea from Mark Bailey of guitar making, and I tried it and I thought, brilliant. So that's the way I do mine now. Different. I'll swap around. I'll do some from this side, and then I'll swap around. And you have to be careful as well when you're doing this about where you're pressing. If you press too hard, you'll create a low spot in the neck. So without too much pressure, you just lightly just rub it back and forth really until eventually you get the radius. So yeah. Right, anyway, let's fire on. A lot of you will know as well that I collect the sawdust as I go with the radiusing. Like this 80 grit dust is a bit coarser, but it's good for bulk filling. You know, like if I'm doing the hollow fret markers or something, you know, it's great for just getting them filled in. Because obviously I fill the fret ends and I fill in the fret markers if I'm using the hollow tubing and stuff. So yeah. Right, so that's that completely, pencil line's all gone. Been checking my straight edge, and of course you have to keep in mind to keep the straight edge in line with the strings, because if I go across here, for instance, that's never going to work because of the radius. So you have to keep it straight in line with the string paths to check. The other thing I do is I use the vernier caliper and I check the corners to make sure they're kind of in the same area. You know, 0.2 of a millimetre is okay, but as long as they're not like 0.5 to a millimetre out, then I'm happy. And if they are, I'll just keep sanding, putting pressure on whichever side is high. Right, fresh mark, somewhere about there. There. Just put fresh pencil line on. I'm going to 180 grit now. Again, this doesn't have to be bang on centre, it doesn't matter at all. It's just really a guide for the sanding, you know. So yeah, 180 grit, fresh bit of paper to catch the finer dust, and away we go. And now onto the 240 grit. So I'll do the 240 grit and then I shall deepen fret slots, sort out fret markers, all that stuff. So yeah, let's fire on with this now. Things are getting serious now. I put my goggles and my headlights on. I'm going to mark up for the fret markers now. So yeah, I want them to be kind of fairly accurate. Pretty much. When I say fairly accurate, I mean bang on. Now before you go drilling anything, double check your work. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 12. I'll just go back to the 3 there, it's 15 or something. 3, 5, 7, 9, 12. Good. Right, let's punch some markers. You don't have to drill these pilot holes if you don't want to. Personally, I find they just really help. They just pull the drill right into the right spot. So I start doing it every time now. I just find it just works really well. So anyway, let's get these drilled. Just been laying all the markers out. So then, just a blob of glue. Dip it in the glue, stick it in the hole. You can even give it a little tap if you want. As I get close, I take the pressure off and let the file go really light. And you hear that that's it just skimming across the top of the fretboard. But because I'm holding it light, it's not putting any gouges in the fretboard, which is a nightmare to sand out. So, yeah. So there we go. They all look fairly straight. I think I'm getting the hang of this now. There's still a couple of light spots. See here and on this one here. It's just as you're standing, it's filling in little tiny craters. So I'll just keep topping them up with super glue and then sanding again and so on. These are fantastic. StewMark ones. I bought them because they were on special offer, so I got them crazy cheap. I think it cost me about 40 quid, £40 UK money, all in, delivered. It was something like that. It was something ridiculously cheap because they had a sale on, and I gotta be honest, I don't regret buying them at all. These are so good. Save you so much hassle. Superb. Then I'm just going to run over the fret slots with a little triangle file. You don't have to do this. I know some people don't. I mean, like Texas Toast Guitars, for instance. I know they don't bother. And they get on fine. It's really up to yourself. It can help though. It can really help just to get the fret to get in, you know. I've done it both ways. I've forgotten to do it in the past and went, ah. And it was definitely trickier getting the fret started for me personally. But yeah, like I said, you don't have to do it though. There's no hard and fast rule. It's quite windy up here today. It's mild though, definitely milder. But yeah, anyway, so that's the markers, frets, and the ends filled and side dots done. It's hard to pick them up on this camera. Yeah, the sides are all, fret ends are all filled. When I used the angled file, I went right down until I actually hit the wood. And then of course I used the sandpaper after that. That feels great. I've got loads of width though, it's a really wide, it's wide board, it's plenty of width on it, so yeah. I use the medium, regular sort of medium super glue for dribbling in under the frets. I find this climate, it works absolutely perfect. It runs right through, no problem at all. If it's middle of summer and it's quite warm, maybe not so well, in which case you can use a thinner stuff, but most of the time I find that stuff works great, so, and it's less messy. The thin stuff I tend to use for after I fill the hole with sawdust and then dribble the super glue on. But yeah, super happy. I'm still waiting on tuners. Obviously I've still got to like carve the neck and completely do a headstock, plate on the top, etc, etc. But the tuners still haven't been in stock yet. The ones I'm after, 2x2, 2+2. I've seen they've got the 4 in line, but the tuning heads are 33mm wide, so, or long, or whatever you want to call it. So I need to think about whether I could fit them on here, like it's a 4 in the line. But I've got enough material, enough length, so don't know. Anyway, I'm going to leave this here. When we come back, we'll look at carving the neck, I suppose. I think that'll be next. Get some carving done. I think, anyway. Unless I get tuners, in which case I can start in the headstock and carving. Who knows? Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like, comment, etc. And I'll see you all again real soon. Cheers!